In the meantime, let's take a look at our news focus stories. 자, 그러면 첫 번째 뉴스 포커스 살펴보겠습니다. 세계에서 65세 이상 노인 인구 비율이 가장 높은 일본이 고령운전자에 의한 교통사고를 막기 위해 새로운 대책을 마련하기로 했습니다. Let's listen to the story.
After a spate of fatal accidents involving children in Japan, Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has instructed ministers there to ensure public safety on the nation's roads. The Japanese Prime Minister also called for technological solutions to boost the safety of vehicles driven by the elderly, as the number of accidents caused by senior citizens behind the wheel has grown. The country's minister in charge of traffic safety plans to instigate a committee to sort out the matters brought forth by Abe.
네, 지난달에 도쿄에서요, 한 교통사고가 있었는데, 이 운전대를 잡으신 분이 87세의 할아버지였습니다. 근데 평소에는 이제 지팡이를 짚고 다닐 정도로 몸이 좀 좋지 않으셨다고 해요. 그런데 이제 이 사고로 인해서 지나가는 행인들을 무더기로 치는 이런 사고였거든요. 근데 어떻게 된 것이냐, 이 경위를 조사를 해봤더니 브레이크가 뭐 고장이 났다, 뭐 악셀이 고장났다 이런 얘기를 좀 하셨어요. 그렇지만 경찰이 봤을 때는 그것보다는 아마 좀 이렇게 판단 미스라든지 이런 것이 아니었을까, 연령대를 감안했을 때. 그래서 이제 그 뉴스가 나간 이후 일본 안에서는 이제 여론이 이렇습니다. 이제 뭐 고령자 운전에 대한 이제 사고를 막기 위한 획기적인 대책이 필요하다. 이런 목소리들이 많이 높아졌고요. 그래서 일본 정부가 한 달여 만인 어제 교통안전 대책 관련 회의를 열었습니다. After a spate of fatal accidents involving children, Prime Minister Shinzo Abe of Japan has instructed ministers there to ensure public safety on the nation's roads.
So the one word that we'll start off looking at this morning, fatal, that's our new word. Hopefully our keen-eyed and keen-eared listeners will recognize spate, which we talked about just recently. But we're looking at fatal this morning. For living things, fatal means causing death. And we most often hear it in this context, a fatal accident, a fatal explosion, etc., etc. But fatal can also be used for non-living things, and in that case, it means leading to failure or leading to disaster. So, for example, in that second context, we could say, the plan had one fatal flaw. It didn't account for variables.
오케이. fatal 그러면은 이제 치명적인이라는 뜻이 있습니다. 그래서 보통 뉴스에서 fatal이라는 단어가 나오면 사망과 관련돼 있다라고 생각을 하시면 돼요. 실제로 이 사고로 인해서 사망자가 발생을 했기 때문에. The Japanese Prime Minister also called for technological solutions to boost the safety of vehicles driven by the elderly, as the number of accidents caused by senior citizens behind the wheel has grown.
So we'll look at that phrase, that expression, behind the wheel. Now, that expression means that you are driving or in control of some kind of vehicle, usually a car or a truck or a van or an SUV of some sort. Sometimes we also hear the expression at the wheel.
Okay.
So if I give the example sentence, she insisted that she was behind the wheel when the car crashed, we could also say, she insisted that she was at the wheel when the car crashed.
운전대를 잡다를 영어로는 behind the wheel이라고 해서 자칫 잘못 생각하면은 바퀴 뒤에 있다라고 착각을 할 수 있지만 그게 아니라 여기서는 운전대를 뜻하는군요. wheel이라는 게.
Yeah, typically this will only be used for vehicles that are controlled by a wheel.
It's a
So
steering
a car,
wheel here, right?
a truck, a steering wheel, exactly right. If we think of a plane or a boat, I think those vehicles don't have steering wheels, so we wouldn't use it for that.
그렇죠. 이제 그 동그란 모양의 운전대만 behind the wheel
Yes.
쓸 수 있겠습니다. The country's minister in charge of traffic safety plans to instigate a committee. Instigate a committee?
Well, we'll look at that word instigate. Now, the definition of instigate is to start something or to cause something to happen.
Right.
It's basically neutral, but it is, I think, more commonly used in negative context. Now, that's not really the case here. Starting or instigating a committee is not negative, but the reason for instigating the committee is, of course, these spate of accidents. So there is that negative connotation there. But essentially itself, it is a neutral term, but used most often in negative situations.
네, 보통 instigate 그러면 뭔가 착수하다, 뭐 실시하다 이런 의미가 되고요. 공식적으로 그런 의미인데 여기서 instigate a committee라고 했기 때문에 어떤 위원회를 조성해서 거기에서 여러 가지 대책들을 내놓기로 했다. 이렇게 해석을 할 수 있을 것 같고요. 어떤 목적이냐면 to sort out the matters brought forth by Abe.
And we'll close off by looking at that phrase, sort out. Now, it has a few different meanings, but in this context, the best meaning would be to find a solution to a problem. So an example sentence that we often really do hear in news, and especially economic news, the company hired an outside expert to help it sort out its problems.
Sort out someone's problems. 그러면은 문제를 해결하다라는 의미가 있어요. 원래 sort out는 아주 정리정돈되게 잘 분류하고 정리하다.
Yeah, kind of like organize.
네,
Yeah.
맞아요. 그런 의미가 있는데 여기서는 이제 어떤 문제를 해결한다라는 의미로 보면 되겠습니다. Let's listen to this story one more time.
After a spate of fatal accidents involving children in Japan, Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has instructed ministers there to ensure public safety on the nation's roads. The Japanese Prime Minister also called for technological solutions to boost the safety of vehicles driven by the elderly, as the number of accidents caused by senior citizens behind the wheel has grown. The country's minister in charge of traffic safety plans to instigate a committee to sort out the matters brought forth by Abe.
자, 그러면 두 번째 뉴스 포커스 살펴볼게요. 마이너스 금리는 시중은행이 중앙은행에 자금을 맡길 때 이자를 받는 대신 수수료를 내도록 하고 일부 예금에도 수수료를 물리도록 하는 그런 정책입니다. 시중은행이 보유한 현금이 기업과 가계에 풀리도록 유도를 하고요. 또 저축을 줄여 투자와 소비를 촉진하는 효과를 보기 위해서 시행하는데 유럽에서는 이 마이너스 금리의 효과를 보지 못한 채 부작용만 절실히 느끼고 있다는 미국 월스트리트 저널의 보도가 나왔습니다. Let's listen to the story.
Negative interest rates in Europe, which were touted as a short-term remedy to flagging economies there, have persisted for several years. Central banks there have been unable to wean their economies off them. The European Central Bank is worried that reversing the negative interest rate could pour cold water on the economy. Even typically robust economies like that of Germany's have faltered recently. This economic anxiety is expected to play a significant role in parliamentary elections in Europe this weekend.
네, 유럽에서는 무려 5년째 이 마이너스 금리를 철회하지 못하는 그런 공공에 빠져 있다고 하는데요. 철회를 하고 싶지만 그렇게 되면은 또 EU 전체적인 경제에 타격을 입힐 것 같아서 그러지도 못하는 상황이라고 합니다. Negative interest rates in Europe, which were touted as a short-term remedy to flagging economies, have persisted.
So we'll look at that expression flagging, and it means basically to become smaller, to become weaker. Another word that we could possibly use would be dwindling.
Okay.
So for example, I could say a flagging political campaign is one that is running out of steam.
Another expression we looked at recently. Flagging 그러면은 원래는 이제 축 처진이라는 뜻이 있어요. 그렇지만 여기서는 뭔가 부진하다, 약하다라는 의미로 보면 될 것 같습니다.
Now it doesn't come from this, but one way I always suggest if you'd like to try to help remember the meaning of flagging, think of a flag when there is no wind. That flag is limp and it's just hanging there with no energy. It's run out of steam. That's maybe a good way to remember.
굉장히 외우기 쉬운 방법이네요. 깃발이 바람 없는 날 어떤 모양인지 생각하시면 되겠습니다. 그게 바로 flagging 뭐뭐뭐인데 여기서는 flagging economies라고 했거든요. 그러니까 좀 부진한 그런 경제에 있어서 short-term remedy, 단기 해결책으로 생각을 많이들 했었어요. 그래서 단기 처방으로 봤었지만 지금은 그렇지 못하다 이런 내용이죠. Central banks there have been unable to wean their economies off them.
We'll look at that phrasal verb to wean off. And wean here, the spelling W-E-A-N. Now, if you wean someone or something off of something, then you are gradually helping them to stop depending on that thing. That thing itself is usually something bad, a bad habit, or even a drug. We often hear this expression wean off when it comes to drugs. Another example sentence I could give, many countries are trying to wean themselves off of coal-fired electrical power.
아하, wean off 그러면 뭐뭐를 끊게 하다라는 뜻이 있어요. 그래서 여기서는 이 negative interest rates 얘기를 하는 건데 마이너스 금리를 끊다? 그러니까 이제 마이너스 금리로부터 좀 자유로워지고 싶은데 그러지 못한다라는 뜻으로 보면 되겠습니다.
So anytime that you try to basically reduce something very slowly and gradually over time, you can use this expression wean off. The opposite, especially again when it comes to bad things for us like smoking or drinking, the opposite when you want to stop very suddenly, we say to quit cold turkey.
아, 그렇군요. wean off 그러면은 서서히 뭔가를 그만두는 거고요. quit cold turkey 그러면 단번에 끊는 거예요. 그래서 금연을 하시는 분들 quit cold turkey from right now 지금부터 그만두시면 되겠습니다. 또 참고로 이제 그 어머니분들 많이 들으시는데요. wean이라는 거는 그 모유 수유를 할 때 아이들이 이제 모유를 끊게 한다라는 의미도 있어요.
Yeah, maybe, right.
So if you wean a baby or an animal, you know, that means when they are weaned, they no longer use the mother's milk.
Yes, that's correct.
There you go. All right. Let's go on to the next one there. It says the European Central Bank is worried that reversing the negative interest rate could pour cold water on the economy.
So let's look at that expression, to pour cold water on something. That means to deter or to discourage someone or something, like an agency or a government, from doing something. So for example, I could say, the change in the exchange rate poured cold water on our plans to travel to the United States.
찬물을 끼얹다. 우리도 그대로 표현을 하는 거죠. pour cold water on something. 이런 결과를 나올까 봐 또 쉽게 철회하지 못하는 모습입니다.
Also sometimes throw cold water on something.
Oh, really? Okay. Even typically robust economies like Germany have faltered recently.
Yeah, robust means that something is very strong or very healthy. It can be in a literal sense about people who are strong and healthy. It can be a more figurative sense, talking about economies or markets. I could even say this. If your school has a robust sports program, it means that it offers many kinds of sports.
네, 원래는 이제 강력한, 튼튼한이라는 뜻이 있는데요. 뭐 여러 가지로 해석을 할 수 있을 것 같습니다. 여기서는 이제 경제 얘기를 했으니까 또 그런 의미에서 보면 되겠고요. Germany's economy is another example of one that has faltered recently.
And we'll close out by looking at that word falter. That's F-A-L-T-E-R. It rhymes with Walter. And falter means to lose strength or to lose momentum. So an example I could give, his plan to start a business faltered when he learned the true cost of everything he needed.
falter 그러면 약간 흔들리는 거예요. 불안정해한다라는 뜻이 있어서 when you're wearing really high heels, it's quite easy to falter and fall.
I would take your word for it. I've never been in the situation.
All right, let's listen to this story one more time.
Negative interest rates in Europe, which were touted as a short-term remedy to flagging economies there, have persisted for several years. Central banks there have been unable to wean their economies off them. The European Central Bank is worried that reversing the negative interest rate could pour cold water on the economy. Even typically robust economies like that of Germany's have faltered recently. This economic anxiety is expected to play a significant role in parliamentary elections in Europe this weekend.
All right, well, let's shed light on this quiz. What is it?
When you become the center of attention, you are said to be in the blank. Is it number 1, spotlight, or number 2, flashlight.
짧은 문자 50원, 긴 문자 100원에 샵 1045로 보내주시고요. 반디 게시판이나 카카오톡 플러스 이용도 가능합니다. 1부에서는 추첨을 통해 총 5분께 쿨링 스포츠 젤 보내드리겠습니다. 노래 듣고 와서요. 세 번째 뉴스 포커스 볼게요. Dido sings Thank You. 자, 세 번째 뉴스 포커스 살펴보겠습니다. 잉글랜드 프로축구 토트넘의 손흥민 선수가요. 영국 매체가 매긴 시즌 평점에서 토트넘 선수 중 1위를 차지했습니다. 손흥민 선수의 활약상은 더 이상 놀라운 소식도 아니지만 무척 반가운 소식에는 틀림이 없네요. Let's listen to the story.
Son Heung-min of England's Tottenham Hotspur Professional Football Club has won accolades as one of the team's top players according to British media. In particular, Son was singled out for his exceptional play after replacing the injured Harry Kane. Media outlets are praising Son for stepping up to the plate. This season, Son scored 20 goals, including 12 in EPL play, 1 in the FA Cup, 3 in the League Cup, and 4 in the UEFA Champions League.
That's another proud moment for us here in Korea. Son Heung-min of England's Tottenham Hotspur Professional Football Club has won accolades as one of the team's top players according to British media.
I'm really glad that we got to focus on this word here in the news focus story because I've mentioned it in passing a couple of times,
Many times.
throughout the week, and so I'm glad we can focus on it. Accolades in the plural can also be singular, accolade.
Yep.
Now, if someone is given an accolade, something is done. They are given an actual award or something is said nice about them to recognize them for their accomplishments. So, for example, the Nobel Prize has become the ultimate accolade in the sciences.
아, 원래는 이제 포상이라든지 칭찬을 뜻하는 accolade지만 보통 우리가 말하는 또 다른 콩글리시 중에 새로운 타이틀을 획득했다? 네, 그런 맥락에서 보면 될 것 같아요.
That nuance, sure.
네, 좀 명성이 있는 저명한 그런 타이틀을 획득했을 때도 이제 새로운 accolades를 얻었다라고 얘기를 할 수 있을 것 같습니다. And he has won an accolade as one of the team's top players. In particular, Son was singled out for his exceptional play after replacing the injured Harry Kane.
So we focus a lot on Korea's declining birth rate, and we say that's because of people not getting married. So we might think that being singled out could be a bad thing. You don't want to be single, but of course this is a good thing. When you single someone out, it is meaning to focus on just one person within a larger group. So of course within Son's team there are many players, but he has been singled out, he's been focused on, and the reason for that focusing actually can be both good or bad. So singled out can be used in positive or negative situations.
네, single out 그러면은 콕 집어서 뭔가를 요인으로 얘기하다라는 뜻인데요. 손흥민 선수에 대해서 사실 여러 가지 이제 칭찬이 여기 보니까 기사에 나와 있습니다. 영국 일간 인디펜던트지가 손흥민 선수는 이래서 대단하다 얘기가 있지만 그 중에서도 여기서 singled out라는 거는 이제 한 가지 사건을 콕 집어서 얘기를 한 거예요. 주전 공격수 해리 케인의 부상 이후에 이제 수훈 선수로서 역할을 했다라고 했어요.
As a matter of fact, if someone's been singled out, you could say they've been put in the spotlight.
Aha, that's something very useful, perhaps for the quiz. All right. And media outlets are praising him for stepping up to the plate.
Very interesting here because our listeners may think of, when they hear plate in reference to sport, they might think of baseball. And that's exactly where this expression comes from. It actually comes from baseball,
Okay.
but we're crossing sports here and using it also in football or soccer. To step up to the plate means to take action when something needs to be done, even though that something may be difficult and you really may not want to do it. So it means
Right.
really doing what you should do when times are tough. You have to step up to the plate. Come on, just do it.
What's
just
a
step
plate
up to the
in
plate.
baseball?
That's the area where the pitcher throws the ball that marks the home base. So you have first base, second
Okay.
base, third base, and then home plate.
There you go. Step up to the plate가 원래는 이렇게 스포츠 용어였군요. 그렇지만 이제 idiomatic expression으로는 책임을 지다라는 의미가 있습니다. And of course, that was the 손흥민 story. Let's listen to it one more time.
Son Heung-min of England's Tottenham Hotspur Professional Football Club has won accolades as one of the team's top players according to British media. In particular, Son was singled out for his exceptional play after replacing the injured Harry Kane. Media outlets are praising Son for stepping up to the plate. This season, Son scored 20 goals, including 12 in EPL play, 1 in the FA Cup, 3 in the League Cup, and 4 in the UEFA Champions League.
We have a lovely question, a very useful question, I should
All
say.
right, bring it
from our
on.
listener 박경화 님이요. 근데 캐나다 원어민 선생님, 월터 선생님.
네,
제가 quit cold turkey라고 하니까요. 누군가가 틀렸다고 went를 써야 한다고 하는데요. 어떤 건가요?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. What we're really getting into here is the difference between what we call prescriptive language and descriptive language. So
Okay.
prescriptive language is sort of the rules of language that we find in these dusty old language books.
Yep.
But descriptive language describes how people actually use it. So descriptively, we should say quit cold turkey. Or pardon me, prescriptively, we should say quit cold turkey. But descriptively, many people would say, yeah, I quit smoking. How did you do it? Oh, I went cold turkey. So you can say it, but technically it's maybe not 100% accurate by prescriptive rules.
네, 한마디로 일상 회화에서 둘 다 쓸 수 있다라는 얘기인 것 같습니다. 이제 cold turkey라는 게 이제 중요한 거고요. 보통은 좀 더 general하게 go cold turkey라고 하거든요. 그러니까 cold turkey가 되다. 를 이제 go라는 동사로 사용을 하는데 I went cold turkey라고 얘기를 할 수 있고요. I'm going to go cold turkey.
Sure.
근데 만약에 이제 뭐 그만두는 것일 때는 go 대신에 quit를 쓰는
Of
겁니다.
course, because
그래서-
you're trying to
네.
stop doing
네,
something bad.
맞아요.
Yeah.
그래서 이제 smoking 같은 경우는 quit smoking cold turkey 이렇게 지시를 할 수 있겠죠. 지금
Yeah, absolutely.
당장
And
담배 끊어.
some people can
이런
do it and others can't. Another example of prescriptive and descriptive language, oh, I see you got your hair done. Some people say, I see
okay.
you got your hair did.
Ah, okay.
And I know
That's a completely different story, but
Yeah, it's a difference between
Yeah.
the actual rules and the way people use it.
there you go. All right, I hope that helped. Thank you so much for that question. And let's go back to the quiz. What
Sure.
is the answer?
When you become the center of attention, if you have been singled out, you are said to be in the blank. That, of course, the answer is number 1, spotlight.
어떤 관심을 받다라고 할 때는 you are in the spotlight. 조명 아래에 있다라고 볼 수 있겠습니다. Congratulations to our listeners. 강승범님, 끝번호 4673 쓰시는 분, 5160 그리고 1850 끝번호 쓰시는 분들과 은소라님 5분 모두 축하드립니다. 쿨링 스포츠 젤 보내드릴게요. Well, what's today's expression?
We'll go back to a slightly longer expression, but one I think that I'd like to focus on, to pour cold water on something.
Okay.
We can also say to throw cold water on something, and it means to sort of change one's plans in a negative sense. If you throw cold water on something, you are deterring them or you are discouraging. The example I gave was, and this could be true for some people, the exchange rate has thrown cold water on many people's plans to travel overseas.
아, 찬물을 끼얹다라는 뜻의 pour cold water 또는 throw cold water. 오늘의 표현이 되겠습니다. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic day today.
Always a pleasure. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Well, coming up in hour 2, we have 영작극장 and we also have Travel with Alex. Taking us there now is No Doubt. Don't speak.